earlier you mentioned how some of the in some ways there was a blessing in the pandemic in what you were able to accomplish in that time away from everything else.
Mhm.
I will say that you guys have helped to be a blessing in the pandemic, in that as rough as things were last year, and I said this in a previous video, how last year actually was completely amazing in the world of music.
Mm.
So many great bands put out so many albums last year. Last year alone we had brand new albums from Raven, from Diamond Head did their new their re-recordings. Blue Oyster Cult after almost 20 years, and you guys, you
Yeah.
know, tossing your skills into the stream there, and it really was just that you were able to create and put something out there in a very dark time for people,
Yeah.
really could not be understated. The fact that you're putting something in the airwaves that somebody who might be having a rough go at things can listen to, and then suddenly gain adrenaline and inspiration and themselves want to start creating. So
Yeah.
you have been a blessing to so many, including myself. I so many times I've been finishing drawings and editing, and I'm going through your album there, and it helps to get that funk of stagnation off, and helps to get things done. So I just want to say thank you for all that hard work that you've done, and for making sure that new material, new merch, and that sort of thing is up and on the way.
Yeah, and again, we wouldn't do this if it wasn't for people like yourself who love the genre, love metal, and are actually actively out there looking for the music. It really makes it. I always think that I'm a dad first now. I've got an almost 2-year-old, but then and a husband and everything else. But to know that people around the world are listening to our music is and stuff that I've written is. It's still wild. I still can't believe that I'm even able to have these conversations like with yourself, like across the pond, somebody who's interested in what we do. I also want to mention as well that, the pandemic sucked. I think that for a lot of us, we spent a lot of time inside just missing getting out there and missing getting to gigs and everything else. So we have had some downtime to listen to music or craft music or whatever it might be. But seriously, from Cloven Hoof and the rest of the band, we just want to send our condolences to anybody that has lost anybody during the pandemic. One of our, like yourself, I've got a huge Excel spreadsheet of every single person that's bought a limited edition Cloven Hoof t-shirt from us. And one of the guys that did was a guy called Daniel Charles. And he passed away early January in the States and Texas, and George was made aware of that. And, hearing about stuff like that, it breaks your heart, because that's a personal connection that you have with somebody who you've never met just through the medium of music, and that's kind of that's the hard part of it, is when you find out about stuff like that. And we've got a label, and we do fairly well, but we are connected with the fans. If you get a message from Cloven Hoof, it is going to be written by one of us. You can message any one of us on Facebook personally. You can find me on Facebook, add me. I'm not bothered. I'm not going to be one of these guys that's like, I've got too much to do. I don't want anything to do with these people. I'll always message you. I've always got time for people. And especially when you find out about that stuff, it really does hit you hard. Equally, I'd say that bands all over the world have had a really tough time of it. We've been blessed that we've had some really good reviews of Age of Steel, done interviews, all that kind of stuff. But bands haven't had the touring income that they otherwise would have, and it does make a difference. The amount of it opened my eyes, and again, I don't want to say too much on this subject, but it opens your eyes how much goes into a tour. So front loaded, how much you have to cover before then anybody makes a single pound. But if you do enough of them and you're successful at it, and you have some great fans, then actually you can take a little bit out of it, and then you can reinvest that in future recordings or merch or whatever that might be. So, I have literally a single handful of limited edition t-shirts left from people who were going to buy them, and then for whatever reason didn't, maybe fall on hard times or whatever. I've got a handful of t-shirts. If you want to get hold of one, please just get in touch with me personally. Mark Harris Bristow. You can find me on Facebook. And then, you know, we've got patches coming. We've got 450 of them due in the next couple of weeks, and they're not going to be extremely expensive. And don't think that if you buy this stuff, or any band, if you buy an album or you buy a vinyl, you buy a t-shirt or a hoodie or whatever it is, don't think, the 50 euros that I'm spending on that is going directly into the band's pocket, because it's not. There's so many other things that get chopped out of that. And good bands, and I'm not saying that everybody does this, but we certainly do, is whatever money we do make from a merch run or whatever it might be, we take that and we reinvest it in something else. None of it gets paid to us personally. So please, 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 just, you know, any band, it doesn't have to be Cloven Hoof. It can be your favourite local band. It can be your favourite big band. It could be Rush. It could be anybody. Just buy their merch, even if it's just a badge or a little patch, or, you know, if you're fortunate enough to buy a t-shirt or discography, just go out and do it, because we really appreciate it. And certainly from our point of view, every time you press buy, we know about it, or I know about it. So if you buy a patch off me, I will know who you are, where you are, and you'll get my own personal thanks for that. So yeah, just a final message from me, really.